All right, Larry. Let me see. Let me get the first video was boring to me. I'm fast forward. I'm looking. When's he gonna show charts? He's just sitting there standing there talking, like many of you listen to me and say, "Man, this guy talks too much." That's because you're a fool. You're a fool. You have no idea what you're looking for. You think you know what you're looking for. You think you would recognize it if it was placed in your hand, but you wouldn't. Just like I was, 20 years old and stupid. 20-year-old stupid. And when you go through things and you make lots of money, lose lots of money, and lose relationships, and you hurt your health while making lots and lots of money, you learn some things. And you end up becoming the person that you heard older speaking to you when you're younger about, well, life's going to do this and life's going to do that. And you listen to that from your grandparents. Maybe it's your father that's told you certain things, or your mother. And you're thinking to yourself, shut up, man. I ain't got time for you. That was your time. It's nothing to do with me. I'm going to be the exception until you're not. And earlier today, I was talking to my youngest, Caden. He wants it faster because he doesn't like the discomfort of not knowing what he should know. And it's very difficult for me to overcome that for him because when he was born, they shot him with a vaccine that he didn't need, and it caused some changes in him. He doesn't think as sharply as he would have, but his creativity is enormous. Like very, very bright. Not like he's not special needs at all, but he is definitely on what would be considered today the spectrum. Okay. If you listen to him, you talk to him, you would never get it. But as his dad, I see it. And this is very difficult for him. And sometimes he gets emotional and he just wants to just, scream because he's like, I want this to be easier because I want you to be proud of me. And I'm proud of you because you're trying. A lot of people won't stay trying while they're feeling what you're feeling because that's a season in success that most people don't want to go through. They don't want to go through those valleys. They want it easy. When they find out walking through those valleys, it's a whole lot longer. It's a whole lot more longer shadows to walk in. The light ain't shining so deep in the valley. It's colder down there. The warmth of the sun ain't shining on you down there. And most people tap out. They quit. The fact that you're still trying, that makes me proud. That makes me very proud of you. The moment you stop trying, that's when I would no longer be proud. Nobody was there telling me I'm proud of you when I was going through the same things, crying, weeping over these price charts, wishing I understood what was going on. And I was just trading commodities back then, not intraday, just daily charts. That's easy. That's nice and slow. You have a lot of time to plan. Here I am trading 15 and 5-second charts now. Just like that, making decisions. Making money moves. Hashtag making money moves, baby. Let's get it trending. Look at you. Take a step back and think about this right now. Here you are on a Saturday evening, listening to what the internet calls a verified fraud. On a Saturday when the market's not even trading, you're listening to a guy coach you for free. Think about that. That's commendable for you to be sitting here pursuing something that you believe in on a weekend night when most people are out getting drunk. Most people are going to wake up tomorrow and regret the decisions they're making right now. Right now. And I had an email sent to me, and it was quite long, and I was able to listen to it. I have text to voice, and I was listening to it, and it basically had a lot of the things I mentioned tonight. and what they were wrestling with, and they just wanted to be encouraged. They wanted to be reminded that, hey, look, is this normal for me to feel like this? Sure it is. Absolutely is. And it would be abnormal for you not to observe it and feel it, because you're in a loser cycle when you're numb to it. When you go numb and you don't care what happens and you're just out here just hurting yourself, putting on trades with real money or blowing prop firm accounts and just resetting them over and over and over again, running up bills. I've seen, not my students, but I've seen other people with $100,000 tallies of what they spent, and they've never had one payout. People can sit back and laugh at someone like that, but I see someone that is desperately trying to do something, and they believe that it's possible for them so much that they're willing to spend that much money. And all they need is someone to sit down and say, hey, look, you have more than enough tenacity to be a trader. You have more than enough. The fact that you're willing to spend that much pursuing something, you just need to have somebody help you calibrate what you're doing. Just a small little movement here. Get your bearings set in the right direction. Don't do some of these things. Spend more time doing these things. Just a subtle little bit of change, and to slow down a little bit. That's a trader. Because the losing money part, that's a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker. If there isn't any other one out there, it's that. If you're trying to learn how to trade, the first time you're baptized in the fires of loss, where it burns your money up, just like that, that's where the real decision making comes in. Because everybody wants to be a trader up until that moment. At that moment, now you're challenged. What do you have to go on? Well, I believed it was going to do this. I believed it was going to do that. And it didn't do those things, and it came back and stopped me. Okay. How's that have any bearing on the efficacy of your model or you as a trader? Here's how you answer that. By not rushing to go back in. But where do most people make the mistake? Rush back in, get it back, because that proves I'm a better trader than I am right now in my mind. Stillness is power. Being still, not taking another trade, is self-control. That is not weakness. That is not less than epic trader. It's exactly what you need to be. You need to be a management specialist. I see people asking to talk. I'm not going to have conversations with anybody tonight. I'm actually coming close to the end. The idea of rushing back in is one of the most toxic things you can do as a trader, but it feels the most natural. And that's a season in success. In the beginning, you feel that that's normal. You feel that that is exactly what you should be doing as a trader. When in fact, as a consistently profitable trader, someone that is following on logic and a model that's, well, consistent, they wouldn't think that way anymore. Whereas they can identify with the person that's brand new. When they encounter a loss, they want to quickly get it back in the beginning because they are not comfortable holding a net loss position overnight or for a week. To them, they think that's losing. That's a loser trader. When everybody's a losing trader. As soon as you put the trade on, you got to overcome the costs of what you just put on, the spread, the commissions, the fees. All those things have to be overcome. So everybody starts off with every single trade as a losing trade. You have to wrestle that trade into a win column. And just because you have a loss doesn't equate to you as being a bad trader, doesn't equate to you having a poor model or approach to trading. And what happens after that loss comes is in many minds as a trader that is consistently profitable is critical, because everybody can look back and say, this is where I was at when I learned making rash decisions. while in drawdown was the worst thing I could have done. So in the beginning, when you have a loss or if you enter into drawdown, the first reaction should be, I'm removing myself from risk. The rule is absolutely, I cannot hemorrhage. I cannot bleed out money. But nobody wants to do that because that means you're going to go home with a loss. That means you're going to go home with a negative in your statement, your trading panel, your stats. And you think that that somehow makes you unworthy to be a trader. And that's not true. That's your intrusive thoughts coming in, and you have not mastered your emotions. You have not mastered the trade psychology as a trader to identify and accept the fact that you as the operator, you're going to do it wrong sometimes. And you need to be giving yourself forgiveness. You have to allow these things to happen. And you're not going to avoid them. They're going to come. The only thing we can do as traders is prepare for the opportunity for when they do in fact come versus other people that don't really plan for it. Everybody comes out the gate right away because they went through some mentor, they went through some book, they bought some course, they listened to somebody on the internet, they watch a live streamer. They're like, man, I'm going to make money because this person's the bomb. Okay, they're the one. And then you suffer a loss. And deep down inside, you want to punish that person or that thing, that book, that mentor, that school of thought. When none of that's true, it's you. Nothing outside of you made you press that button. Nobody but you chose that leverage you used. Nobody but you took that intrusive thought that jumped in your head and said, I'm ready to take on risk when you weren't. In the beginning, you don't think this way. You block all those things out. The common sense will be tingling like spider senses, okay? I better not do this. And what do you say? Psh, shut up. I'm going to make a lot of money today. And then you lose a lot of money that day. And you flood your mind with all of these irrational decisions, and you think speed now is how you're going to get it back. Make faster decisions, more trades. I took a loss. That the only way to fix that is take more trades, more leverage, more signals, more setups. I'm going to watch the smaller time frames. I'm going to look for every little fluctuation. I'm going to try to do this and this. I'm a scalper now. Maybe you're an intraday day trader where you're looking for the position in the morning and hold for the daily close until you now take a loss. Now you're ready to system hop. You're changing everything now. Are you thinking rationally? No. That is a season in success. Successful traders have had that happen to them where they wanted to leave their model. They wanted to leave their approach to trading because the discomfort of being in a state of unprofitable at the moment and waiting for your model and your trade psychology to be in sync. That means when you're no longer being dragged into the market where you have to do it because you can't stand being in your own skin. I have to do this. I can't stand that I'm down this much money. How would you feel if the surgeon that was going to be working on your child came in and visited you at the pre-op and said, hey, y'all doing? I just want to let you know I'm having a really bad day. My wife and I just went home, just yesterday, and I found her in bed with another man, and I'm really high strung today. So I'm going to appreciate some patience on your part, and I'm going to do my best today. How confident are you going to leave your child in the hands of somebody like that? They're not thinking rationally. They're not thinking with your child's best interest. Now, is that going to happen? Probably never, okay? But that's the equivalent of what you're doing. When you lose money and you're brand new and you have very little experience, you start thinking irrationally. And you think that that's normal while you're thinking it. So why would you let the surgeon who had that happen to them operate on your child? Because that's what you're doing to yourself. You're letting someone with no experience being profitable, tell you that you should be taking more trades. And that's the intrusive side of you. That the undermining part of you. And it's going to come through your subconscious. And you're going to feel like you're getting an inkling. You're going to get a hunch. Oh, this is the thing that's going to work. I was wrong earlier. I can accept that, but this is the one that's really going to work, and I'm going to get all my money back on this one. No, you're not. You're going to lose. You're going to hemorrhage more money, and then you're going to speed up the process until you blow it. It happens all the time like that. Every time a tilt happens, it's just like that. It's never anything else. It's never anything else. And anybody that's honest will tell you, yep, that's very close to what I went through. Subtle nuances and differences here and there, but generally it's the same thing. Your mind goes into irrational thinking because your experience doesn't force you to stay into the sidelines and say, I'm not doing anything. I need to calm down. I need to remind myself that it's just money. It didn't blow my account. It doesn't change the efficacy of the model. It doesn't mean I'm a bad trader. It just means that I have to take ownership of what I did wrong, and I have to reevaluate what I did so I don't make that mistake again. And I got to go in with less leverage the next time. Well, that means it's going to take longer for me to get the money back, Michael. I'm not into that. That's not going to work for me. You're right. It's not going to work for you. And you won't be staying as a trader. The industry will find a way to remove you. Darwinism works in trading, but it's the only place it exists. That's the only place it exists, folks. Survival of the fittest. Only the strong